Okay, this handout is called the double line graph comprehension, and I'm comparing Henry and Chris. Henry is the lighter color, Chris is the darker color. So on my graph, I'm going to actually label him Chris is the dark one all the way through, and Henry is the lighter one. Okay, so that way it's easy to see on my graph. I don't have to keep referring to the key. I'm just going to write it in there. Okay. Looks like the years are on the bottom, starting with 2010 to 2016. Each square goes by 1 year. Then horizontally, I have hundreds of coins collected. So that means this one means 100, 200, 300, 400, 500. So you can use the ones, or if you want to put zeros in there to just remind yourself they're in the hundreds. Sometimes that helps. Okay. And I'm going to kind of underline that so I know it means the hundreds. Sometimes it's helpful. So when we look at those numbers, we don't think it's just a single coin. It's really talking about hundreds of coins. Okay. So question is number 1. How many coins were collected by both Henry and Chris in 2013? So we go to 2013, and there's a tie for both of them. So 300 for Henry and 300 for Chris. So how many total? Add those up and you'll get 600 coins. Okay, number 2. What was the absolute difference in coins collected between Henry and Chris during the year 2012? The absolute difference, so 800 minus 500. Okay, which equals the absolute value of 300, which turns out to be 300. Remember, if I were to reverse this and you did 500 minus 800, you were to get negative 300, and it's the absolute value of that, and they give you it's the exact same number, because remember, absolute values return a positive answer every time. So it doesn't matter which way you would have subtracted them, you should get the exact same answer when you use the absolute difference of numbers. Okay, number 3. During which years did Henry collect more coins than Chris? So remember, Henry is the gray one, so I'm looking for any years where Henry is above Chris on the graph. So I see it happens here in 2012. That's the first year I see it. And anytime the gray is above, they're tied here, and then he's back to being above here. So Henry's above him here too, as well in year 2014. Anywhere else? And no, because they're tied here, and then they flip-flop up here. Okay. Question 4. In the years 2015 and 16, how many coins were collected between both kids? Okay. So 2015 and 16, I'm going to add those both together. So 2015, we have 200 by Henry. 2016, they both collected 700. Add those up, there's 900 then for both of them, those, and then 2016 for Chris, we have 800, and then drop down a little bit to 700, and that's a total of 1,500. So add those together, 900 plus 1,500, and you get 2,400. So hopefully that was pretty easy for you to see. And then number 5, how many months did Chris collect more coins than Henry? So if they tied, it doesn't count, okay? So it's got to be more than. So Chris more than. Chris is the darker one. So we have 1 month here in 2010. Chris is higher. That's 1. Here's another one, 2011. It's a no here. They're tied. Nope, they're flip-flopped. And there's above. So that's the 3rd time he's above because they're tied here. So 3 times is actually more than. Again, the key is here more, not tied or less, but more. So your answer should be 3. Okay. Hopefully the double line graph was good and easy for you as well. and we'll get to the next handout coming up shortly.